at this level. What would you say about confidence and competence being built in you by a coach?
Yeah. First of all, the competence is this. There's playbook. Here's the playbook. And these are the plays in the playbook. But it's up on it's upon the player to go back and to study the playbook and to work with the plays in the playbook. Okay. You my coach. Mm-hmm. You're giving me the advice I need to win.
Right.
But you can't play the game for me.
Wow. Okay, unpack that, man. I'm just this is why you have to write. This is why you have to write. You have to keep writing. Yes. Man. Say that again.
Yeah, you give me the playbook. It's the coach's job to give the playbook, right? Mm-hmm. And orchestrate the game plan. But it's my job to take the playbook, go study the playbook, right? Comprehend the plays, and then execute the plays when it's game time. If I'm out partying, right? If I'm not in the gym, if I'm asleep during the time the coach is up talking about teams and plays, I can become a burden to the team.
Wow. Exactly.
Yes.
When you're supposed to be a leader.
Yes.
On that team.
Yes. So competence is on me, not the coach.
Wow.
I think the first time I met, Bishop, when he was talking to me, he simply said to me, this is our start. He says, you can't be my friend if you're going to be ignorant.
What?
Yes.
You got to make a decision right now.
Right now. So that means you got to start studying, reading books, getting prepared because you're going places. But if you're going to be ignorant, you can't be my friend.
You got a next level. You got a next level.
Yes.
I'm not coming here to talk to you about where you're at.
Right. So that's my responsibility.
Right.
And here's what you told me. You said, Roland, I don't have time for all this. I'm going to give you some things, but when I come to see you in Campton, I better see something.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
It's hard for me to see myself.
Yes.
But if you got a person that can play,
mm-hmm. That challenged me.
You know they can play.
Yes.
They may not know they can play.
Yes.
But you know they can play. So you're like, hey, next time I see next time I see you, I need to see something come out of you that wasn't there before.
Exactly. And that's a challenge to me because when you do that, you're actually challenging me. And then you could look at see how competent I am, right? And you can see about my surroundings and the world that I live in. Okay, he's getting it. He may not be where he should be, but we know he's getting it. He's putting.
And what that coach is doing, mm-hmm. because that coach understands that where there is not competence mm-hmm. and confidence, that coach knows that doubt's going to win.
Exactly.
So, a very special person in my life needed to have this surgery mm-hmm. 4 months ago. So as we're because we do things as friends and family. Mm-hmm. So as we're interviewing surgeons, mm-hmm. we interviewed 5 or so surgeons. So when we were finally done, I said to this person I love, I said, I like this particular surgeon. And I was told, well, he was kind of not brash, but exacting, whatever, came across interesting.
Yeah.
And I said, exactly, that's why I like him.
Mm-hmm.
He flies like a Navy pilot.
Wow.
He has a little bit of attitude.
Yes.
He comes across like he knows what the heck he's doing.
Yeah.
He comes across like he reads and studies, mm-hmm. that he doesn't just have a medical degree. Right. He feels like he has to read and study all the time. He mentioned going away and getting ancillary training. Mm-hmm. He uses robots. I said, that's who I want with you.
Wow, that's good.
If something happens in that room,
yes,
he's the guy I want at the stick.
Exactly.
And my loved ones explain more of that. I said, you want someone who's competent and confident.
Right.
They know what they are doing, and it's their pride.
And we have that in the church all the time. And I think for leaders, we have to be more attentive to the people that surround us, because we can easily, and I mean easily, mistake, watch this, confidence for arrogance.
Yes.
And it's not arrogance.
It's not arrogance at all.
It's confidence.
It's confidence. They just know what they do.
Thank you.
And they practice it in their sleep.
Yes.
That surgeon, when he's eating dinner, the way he cuts his steak, he is immersed in this idea.
Right.
It's what he thinks. It's how he lives his life. That's what you want when you're dealing with a surgeon. That's what you want when you're dealing with a pastor.
Right.
That's what you want. Someone, they're not cocky.
No.
They're just confident.
Confident.
You want to, if you can't be around a confident coach, it means you will never become a confident coach.
That's right. Right. I know who I am.
I know who I am, and I know what I do.
That's it. I'm confident in that.
I'm not stepping outside of what I do.
Right.
And I'm going to do me.
Yes.
In every room I go into.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
That's how this is going to work.
Right.
That's a game changer. So the whole high confidence versus low confidence without a coach, that's what you're facing.
Right.
It's not that you don't believe in yourself because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in yourself because you're not with a coach that believes in you. That'll show you how to believe in yourself. That's what a coach really does. Because if I coach you on the sideline, I can't be standing next to you on the basketball court, on the golf course, on the football field, say, hey, do this next. You can do it. You can do it. No, there's got to be a voice in your head.
Right.
Saying to you, hey, you can do this. This is what you do. This is who you are.
Exactly.
Nothing changes. So number 5, read to us. This is number 5 that we want to talk to you about next.
It is create accountability and follow through.
That's what a coach does.
Right. He creates accountability.
Let's get into that.
Yes.
What in the world does that mean?
It says goals without accountability becomes good intentions. And that's all it be. And coaches move you past good intentions into what we call results.
I want to win.
Right.
I want to lead. I want to be a multimillionaire. I want a successful relationship. I want to live a long time. And your coach is going to say, okay, what are you doing about that?
Right.
How are you taking? And now, next time we meet, I want to talk to you about that. This is my agenda for our next meeting.
Okay.
So that accountability, that bringing evidence that you're actually using real tools to get better shows your intentions.
Exactly.
If you're not doing the work, the coach is eventually going to have to, no matter how much money you're paying them, the coach eventually has to make a decision. Are they using their time in a reasonable and responsible way?
Exactly.
If they're coaching you.
Exactly. Great coaches is always passionate. They're passionate. I go beyond that and say some are high strung.
Yeah. Pushy.
Yes. Because they see your potential. And by the way, if someone tells you that you have potential, that's not a compliment. They're saying you got things, but you're not using it, right? And so coaches, most of the time, when you see that passion come out, they're seeing so much inside of you, and they know you're not maximizing what you have. Yes.
That's very strong.
Yeah.
Wow, I see potential in you. So the coach is saying that statement is not a good statement.
No.
But it does mean that there's something there. And I feel comfortable using some of my time to help bring that out.
Right. I can maximize what I see. You know, because we're not always potential driven. We're comfort zone driven. We're comfortable. Most people are comfortable because they feel, and the reason they are comfortable because they feel like they can control that environment.
Wow.
But in order to be successful, you don't have to be in control all the time. You can go with the flow and still arrive at the same place.
Wow. Because without that,
Mm.
without that follow through and accountability,
Yes.
the only thing that can happen is if there's no accountability, there's no real results.
Right.
Because that coach is in your life
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that there are outcomes
Right.
to both our efforts.
Right. Exactly right.
And when I see you, because I watch in Atlanta. Like I said yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't just listening.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't just listening to you as you were giving advice to this politician, to this governance person.
Yes.
I was listening for your words, but I was listening for voice inflections.
Okay.
I was watching your body language,
Mm-hmm.
how you talked to him, not just what you said,
Yes.
but how you said it. Then I was also looking at him,
Mm-hmm.
his body language, his eyes, his facial expressions, to make sure that he was receiving what you were saying in that moment.
Exactly.
Because we only had 5 minutes
5
to
minutes.
deal with this.
Exactly. Exactly.
See that look on your face?
Yes.
So you like, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're like, listen, listen, this is what you need to do. This is your attitude. This is your emotional standpoint. Now, when that official said these words, this is what they really meant.
Yes.
This is what they meant.
Right.
So the next thing you said is, this is what you need to do right now.
Yes.
You don't remember the conversation. I'm taking notes. You asked, what time is it where you are? Oh, you're East Coast. You're an hour ahead of us. You didn't wait for his answer. You told him what time it was where he was.
Yes. So he need to be on point with that.
And then you gave him a deadline.
Yes.
If it's 12 o'clock here, it means it's 1 o'clock there. You got 2 hours to turn this in.
Exactly.
By 3 o'clock, you need to get this back to her. At the moment, you haven't even seen the document that has to be filled out.
But he still have to have it on back. Yes.
It could have been a 25,000 page handwritten thing. But to you,
Yes.
you're like, hey, I'm coaching you right now. You're going to miss out on an opportunity. You got to get this back to her today. Well, she told me tomorrow. That ain't what she meant. Though.
Right. I love the personal coaching moments we have. Sometimes we was riding one day, and there was an old saying that it's hard to be big when little got you.
It's hard to be big when little got you.
Yeah. And what that term means, you're always playing too small. You're playing beneath your level.
Don't play small.
You don't play small. And we was having that conversation one day when you said, hey, Roland, that's not who you are. We're up here, right? And I saw one of the things I saw yesterday, that when he went into the meeting, he was playing small because the lady was talking big, but he was always thinking small. And so as a leader brings out who you are. No matter where you are, you never demote yourself.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Even if they are demoting you, just don't do it to yourself. Wow.
You're not a grasshopper.
Right. They might call you a grasshopper, but you call yourself a giant.
Giant. Exactly. And that's the product of a good coach. Because we're going to get in crisis moments, right? The Rams game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
2 seconds left, right? And I can't remember the player's name. He went to coach and said, hey, I need to be out. He says, no, you only got 2 seconds. If I take you out and we win this game and we put this ball across this line,
without you,
you're going to hate it the rest of your life. I don't need you on the sideline. I need you in the game. And so that is the point of great coaching. There's a time that I need you to stand up and be tall, be a giant, right? Only coaching can do that.
Coaching.
Yes, I got 22 years of Navy experience and all like that, but there are some rooms I have went into without your coaching, I would have never felt like I was a giant.
Ooh.
Yes, coaching is good, man.
I'm telling you, coaching turns you into the athlete that's inside of you.
Yes.
Turns you into the leader that's inside of you.
Yes.
Because that's all that coach wants. Do you have a coach? Have you invested in coaching? Have you invested time, which is your most valuable asset? Have you invested time Secondly, have you invested energy? Have you invested time to a coach? Have you invested energy in your coach? What does that energy look like? Thinking about putting into practice and doing what they say, even if you don't believe it. Time and energy. Have you invested money? Have you invested money in getting this coaching so that that coach whose time is important can also spend time with you? Those are the three biggest components of coaching. You have to invest in that if you want your life to change.
Right.
If I wanted my life to change, and someone asked me this question, and I'm like, I need to think about it. So I had to go back and pull up my all my receipts. I had to, I had to pick up the time I paid for coaching, the time I had to fly now. So it was an expensive flight, get a hotel and a car, and then pay my coach. And I said, well, it's between $175,000 to $200,000.
Wow.
That's since I was 30.
I'm
not talking about before that.
Right.
I said, that's a lot of money. No.
No.
That's a lot of time.
Right.
No.
No.
I'm going to tell you where I would be.
Correct.
I can look back on my life when I spent the first $1,000 to go see my coach.
Wow. Right.
I can tell you what I was worth. I could tell you how I felt. I could tell you where my family was.
Right.
Now, compared to that little $200,000 I invested,
you're right,
in myself with my coach,
yes,
has astronomically doubled, tripled,
right,
10 times of the net worth I was then.
right.
10 times? Might be closer to 20 or 30 times. If I hadn't invested those pennies.
Yes. Yes.
If I hadn't invested those pennies compared to where I am, I would not have the millions.
And see, you could tell the difference between the uncoached,
absolutely,
or a lack of coaching, because this is their MO. How much does it cost?
Right. It's too expensive.
Too expensive. So let me say this. Coaching doesn't cost, it pays.
Wow. Where you get these things from? This stuff just rolls off your tongue?
Just rolls off.
Please pays. Keep writing. Please.
It
coaching
pays.
doesn't
cost. It pays.
It pays.
That's great coaching.
I totally agree with that.
Yes.
It pays in such a way. Okay. So number 6. Having a coach, listen to me, having a coach improves decision-making and your leadership.
Right. Oh, man.
When you have a coach, it improves how quick, how decisive, and how good your decisions make when you have the right coach.
Very much so.
And it makes you a great leader.
Right.
Because in the moment, you can make decisions because you've already made those decisions, because your coach has already coached you up on wise decisions, teaching you who you are, showing you what your gifts are. And you never make a decision outside your gift.
Never. And I can 100% agree with that, because most leaders, not all leaders, we think about in decision making now. We don't think futuristic. And so I remember one situation we was in, and you was talking to a guy, and he was just trying to get some things from you, and he was buying this building, right?
Yeah.
and he loved the building. The building
he was in love with.
He was in love with it. And you bust his bubble, and you says, "I would never buy that with that steeple on it." Right? And I was like, wow, the building looked good to me, right? And then you told him why you wouldn't do it.
No.
Because if you grow, you can't resell the building.
You can't.
See, that's coaching. And that's decision making, critical decision making. He was emotionally making a decision, not making one off of facts.
He was thinking church.
Yes. Yes.
And I was thinking community leadership.
Yes.
Now, well, with the right coaching, he is now in state and federal government, because his real thing, yes, you are a pastor, but what is your real gift? They're concentric circles to everything you do.
Exactly.
It's all the same thing, but it gets bigger, it gets broader. You can get paid $50,000, You can get paid $50,000, $500 a week, or $50,000 picking up cans on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Picking up cans, turning them in, shredding them, and getting your money.
Right.
But you can make $50 million a year if you own shredding companies.
Correct.
That turn that can of Coke into other properties, other
Yes.
things. You have your own recycling company,
Right.
and you're in 50 states and 5 countries.
Right.
The same guy who picks up the can on the street.
Mm-hmm.
That makes 50,000 or so a year doing that, because people do that.
Right.
Could make 50 million a year doing the same thing. Your coach shows up in your life
Right.
to say, hey, just do that same thing over here.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. It's exactly the same thing.
Same thing.
Well, how do I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you pick up cans, right? Go hire some of your other buddies that are either living on the street or don't have nothing to do. Have them pick up cans for you and just pay them. I guarantee you $200 today.
Right. That's it.
I guarantee you. So when they turn in their cans, you pay them $200, but you made $300.
Exactly. Less work. Everything.
That's all I need to do. I mean, I know how impacting this type of information is. If it's important to you, the impact that it's having on your life, only thing you need to do is like, share, make comments, communicate with me on this particular channel. Subscribe to it. You don't want to miss anything I have to say about this subject, because you're looking at a guy who's the evidence of how you can live your life.